Welcome to the new story mode, and by the new story mode, I mean actually no, this is a new story. This is an original plot technically, so I can't even make a joke here. I had something and I lost it. I'm drunken Dan.
Original the plot.
Donut steal.
I'm depressed.
Sabo's dead again.
I mean, I'm not depressed about that. Fuck him.
Oh, I didn't think that's what you were depressed about, but Sabo's dead again. But have you considered living in a gangsta's paradise?
You know, I did.
Where do we start looking for heroes?
But then I thought, I don't really want to go to Chicago. So I'll briefly talk about the Sonic thing. Because, yeah, the movie does not look good. Sonic's design looks bad. But, literally would be better and has been proven to look better if you just rip the fucking model from Sonic Forces and use that instead.
Yeah. Honestly, because I'm also going to make fun of Detective Pikachu while I'm here, too. But, I think it's funny, though, that by the end of the fucking film, when Jim Carrey Eggman finally goes full Eggman, that he actually looks fucking good as Eggman, and then you have Sonic looking like that. And I feel like he's gonna single-handedly carry that fucking movie, even though he doesn't believe in vaccines because he's crazy and stupid.
Truly, I consider her irreplaceable.
I mean...
Delia, what's wrong?
You know, I mean... You know what they say. Yeah, okay, I don't know what they say. I was hoping you would.
Oh, no, I don't know. But, while we're here talking about the CG, so... Like I said, I think Sonic himself looks terrible. I don't think he looks good. Some people say Uncanny Valley, but I don't think he quite hits that. He just looks ugly. If you want to talk about Uncanny Valley, though... Pokemon. Detective Pikachu.
I mean... Yeah, that looks weird, and... but I wasn't planning... I guess the difference was I saw one trailer for that and thought, wow, I'm never going to watch this, so I don't care. And then I saw the Sonic one, it's like, wow, I'm never going to watch this, and it somehow still hurts my soul.
It's because every time it's Sonic, it hurts a little more. But,
Well, it's just like I can't fathom why this design, though.
I can't fathom a lot of things.
So...
But, I still want to make fun of Pokemon real quick. We both already know it's bad. I want to make fun of Pokemon because everyone's like, oh, it looks great! No, it fucking looks awful. It looks terrible.
Don't throw my culture under the bus for that.
I'm not using your accent. Jesus.
Just don't
You're thinking like I'm using your specific accent.
I don't like when people appropriate my culture is all.
It ain't appropriating your culture.
It's our culture. We earned it by killing all of your cultures.
God damn it. So... As I was trying to get to, so all the Pokemon look terrible other than Ditto, because he's the only one where they didn't add, like, unnecessarily detailed skin texture, over-the-top scales that look more like you're looking at a lizard with a fucking magnifying glass, or the fucking scraggly fur that makes them look like they're rabid. Like...
Pokemon are rabid unless they're in the box.
And all their eyes just look dead, like... Especially, like, Pikachu, everyone says, like, oh, but Pikachu looks fine. I'm like, Pikachu to me, so with the fur being overly detailed like it is, and his eyes looking dead, that doesn't look like a living Pikachu to me. That looks like someone, like, killed a fucking, a Pikachu, and then took it to a taxidermist, and he just picked the first eyes he could find and shoved it in the fucking eye sockets.
Eh. Like I said, I've only ever seen the one trailer for Detective Pikachu, and then I knew there and then... Well, I kind of knew even before the movie came out. Yeah, I'm probably never going to watch this.
I'm only really bringing it up because every time with the Sonic thing, they're like, hey guys, don't worry, there's a good one on the way, and they show the fucking Pokemon, and I'm like, no. No, it's not.
I'll just sit over here and be like, yeah, but Godzilla, though.
I mean, Godzilla looks great.
That looks good.
But yeah, what they should have done is just gone full fucking Roger Rabbit. Just make them look stylized cartoon characters. It's fine. And it would look better that way.
Yeah, but Roger Rabbit is a genius piece of filmmaking. So you can't expect other people...
Hell, Space Jam looks better!
I mean, it's...
Space Jam looks better!
Space Jam was never a problem of how it looked, except for those, like, moments where they made, like, Newman from Seinfeld a CG. That was horrifying. Like, the actual, like, integration of people and cartoons was always looked fine. It was just that Space Jam's not a good movie.
No, it's not.
And also,
I'm
also
talking
turns out
specifically.
Michael Jordan's a bit of a fuck. Well, not a bit, quite a lot of a fuck face.
I'm not surprised. A lot of celebrities are, but I was talking about just the effect of the animated characters with the real world. That's all I was talking about, not the writing of the movie. Like, Detective Pikachu might be fine in its writing, though I wouldn't bet on that either.
Space Jam
but
does also... sorry, you finish it.
The uncanny valley of, like, the fucking Pokemon is just gonna be fucking terrible, and I can't watch it because of that. It's just gonna bother me.
Oh, you know what? There's also another problem with movie Sonic design. He has human teeth.
Yeah.
And
I know it's going to be the human
teeth. Human lips, which you almost know are designed for kissing.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have him kiss anybody, though.
I
don't think Elise is in this movie.
It's Sega. I don't trust them to do... It's got Sega involvement and Sonic Team involvement. I don't trust them not to do shit.
I don't think Elise is in this film.
Might not be well, I'll laugh if they go full Super Mario Brothers movie and the princess is just some random person from Brooklyn.
That would be kind of funny.
Or wherever the fuck this movie's set, I guess, like, California.
It's city somewheres.
I mean, it looks like California. And it smells like
that wouldn't surprise
California.
me. Usually, American movies, if it's a city, it's one of two. It's California, it's LA, or it's fucking New York. Those are the only two cities, and if if anyone tells you there's other ones, apparently according to Hollywood, those are the only ones, except for that one time they did Philadelphia.
Sometimes they'll go to San Francisco if they want to use the Golden Gate Bridge. And Vegas for boner comedies. Or at least the one boner comedy.
Which one?
Hangover.
They're all alike to me.
The Hangover, because that's the one that's set in Vegas.
Yeah. I like I said, a lot of those boner comedies just feel it. You could like edit scenes of them together in a way, and just like make a trailer, and you could convince me that they're the same movie.
I mean, you can do that with romantic comedies as well.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite part of romantic comedy is the part when they have that misunderstanding and then they get mad at each other and then they spend like a good chunk of the film moping until they get back together. Isn't that the best part?
My favorite part is how like 99% of romantic comedies are the man is at fault and must apologize.
Oh yeah, usually too.
There's like only two I can think of off the top of my head where both sexes are treated as equally asshole-ish.
I like the ones too where the guy's already in this committed relationship, and then the cool pretty girl shows up, and then usually it's blonde, and then it's all perfect except for when you look at the characters, like this relationship isn't going to last too long.
I mean,
so
you know what? Could be worse. Could have gone the Game of Thrones route and just fucked everything.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was always fucked.
No, it's reached a whole new level of everything's fucked now.
So
fucked beyond. Okay, so I mentioned last week that the entire plot was like, yeah, we got ice zombies, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the whole thing was all the other people who are complaining and fighting for the throne, and they're being idiots, and the whole series is built on the basis of no, but the actual fight is against the kind of evil that's mounting across the north. So for like 7 seasons, they built up the White Walkers are coming, the army of the dead, and we got Jon Snow, who's the prophesized one to defeat the Night King, and blah blah blah. So they had the big battle on Sunday. Well, the Sunday before we recorded this.
Ah, Jon Snow, Mr. learns how to ride a dragon in 5 minutes.
I mean, that's whatever.
No, it's pretty fucking dumb.
Well, it's whatever in comparison to the other shit.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So the basics, the basics of war, right? So,
I mean, I've played a strategy game.
So you have cavalry, right? Where do you think, on your battlefield, where do you put your cavalry?
Usually don't... I'm trying to think of... Fuck, I'm trying to also fight.
Alright, I'll put it this way. You don't put your cavalry on the very front lines and then charge them off into the actual pitch-black night against a force you can't see. And you know what they have?
Cavalry kind of like hit and run.
Well, yeah, but that's
usually they kind of go in the back and then.
Yeah, they are hit and run. They're like get in quick, get out fast. But they're not They're not on the front lines. They are not your front line of offense or defense. They are. They are like
infantry.
sniping, basically.
Yeah, your infantry is what you want up front, or your armored.
Cavalry like charge. If you think of it like this, so two armies and they meet head first. Cavalry are the ones who sneak round the side and charge in, catch them in a blind spot. Because they're on horses, they're faster.
Right.
Okay, so what do you think is then fall behind the cavalry?
Okay, what's behind the cavalry?
They're trebuchets.
Okay,
where do you think
you mean the siege weapons?
Yes, they have trebuchets behind the cavalry. So when the cavalry goes in first, because obviously that's what you do, the trebuchets then like start firing while the cavalry's charging.
Oh, wrong button.
So this is just stupid military tactics anyway. So they have this like huge battle, and like all of the important cast members keep having this thing where it's like, oh no, we're about to be killed by but there's like 9 different zombies on us, and then one zombie dies and the rest just kind of disappear, so the characters are saved. Meanwhile, like John is trying to find Night King because they've got to kill him.
Night King the Great.
And Night King's got his his blue eyes white dragon.
Oh yeah, I was told that there's a literal blue eyes white dragon. I was dying.
So he's like so Night King's got his blue eyes white dragon, and then have a dragon fight, and it's like, okay. And the dragons kind of could obliterate most of the army, but they don't because they're too busy having this dragon fight. So then eventually John's dragon just kind of collapses but doesn't die. It just fucks off for the rest of the episode. The zombies break into the castle and then suddenly there's just like, I don't know, a big zombie like army siege outside, and then suddenly we're doing fucking Last of Us with small young girl having to sneak around a library while dodging, well, not that young, but dodging zombies, which is a bit annoying considering like just 5 minutes ago she killed like 10 of them single-handedly.
Yeah, like, if she can just kill them single-handedly, what's the point of having her sneak around?
So, yeah, well, it's very much reeks of, I wanted to do this scene, and damn it to hell I'm going to do it. So anyway, all this build-up, you're thinking, right, so John's the one who's been behind this plot. It's his plot. It's the only thing he's got going. It's the only thing that's defined him. So, how do you think it ends?
Okay, so he's in the middle of the battle with the...
he's fighting the Night King, and then the Night King fucks off because the Night King then raises all of the people who have died because zombies, so every time someone dies, they join the army. Raises all the undead, fucks off because he needs to kill one specific kid who's magic. So John's like blocked behind the Night King. Night King finds the kid. He's, haha, I'm about to kill you all, and John's fighting Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay, so is John already like knocked out?
No, he's still fighting the He's fighting the Blue Eyes White Dragon, trying to get to Night King, who's about to kill Kid.
Okay, so he's fighting that, so he's already kind of held back.
Yeah.
And the only other person you mentioned is the girl sneaking around.
Yes.
So I'm gonna assume
she teleports out of nowhere through like an entire battalion of zombies and the super special, powerful ice people. He manages to catch Night King unaware, happens to just have a dagger that is of the same quality as the magical properties to kill Night King, and then does a really stupid, simple move, and then instantly stabs the Night King. Therefore, in doing so, rendering John's entire character arc and plot completely pointless.
Now, one question I have.
Yes.
Was, at the very least, and this is still stupid, but I'm just curious, was her, like, weapon being this, like...
Oh yeah, they've all known we've all known that she had the magic weapon. The problem is even the people after the fact in the like post-episode like special features, they said, oh yeah, so we were gonna have like John fight Night King and beat him, and it would have been all like kind of classical hero thing. And we thought, no, we don't want to do that. We want to subvert expectations. So we have random girl who's had literally no connection to this plot or anything going on with it is the one who solves the main plot of the book of the series. Which now lives in this position where there's like 4 episodes left, and there's not really a plot to do. And the main character, who most people have been following for the entire series, has literally nothing left to do now because he's done. But he didn't even get to have the plot resolution. This is why it's broken beyond release. Like, you can't repair this because it's the last series. It's the final series, and it was literally all you had to do was have Jon Snow's plot reach a resolution, and you didn't. It is to the point that it is so fundamentally broken now that just nothing can save it. Even in this like barely scraped together like final plot that they're gonna have to come up with for the last 3 episodes because we got rid of the main plot. Now we go back
so
to...
basically they did the Snoke thing.
Yes.
Where they killed off Snoke way too soon and just kind of cut off any kind of...
Yeah, now we get to have resurrected Palpatine, which causes the initial which now creates the ultimate problem of death is meaningless in Star Wars, if it's true. And if death is meaningless in Star Wars, then there's literally no reason for even the people who did care. Because I don't understand how people can care about the sequel movies beyond just blind nostalgia.
I know they brought him back in the fucking books.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck about... Like, come on, the books...
Oh, no, I'm saying... No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying, like, they're doing the same fucking stupid thing that they did in the books. I hated that when I heard the books did that.
They're doing exactly what they were... It's the more literal version of what they'd already done, which is repeat the past, which they did because Snoke was basically Palpatine. 100% he was just straight up Palpatine. But then they got subversive, and it's like, well, now there's nothing left to do because Kylo Ren's a complete fucking waste of space. Like, he is the most unthreatening character you could possibly have. How can there be any tension when he has done nothing but lose?
Yeah, I mean, Kylo Ren is...
He has no single victory.
It's kind of like... It's similar to that thing, like... It's making me think of, like, it's similar to that thing, that issue I had with Yakuza 0 with Kuze, where it's like, how am I supposed to take you as a threat? How many times have I kicked your ass now?
The only thing Kylo Ren ever did was kill Han, which was killing an old man who was basically defenseless, weaponless, and openly like, "Hey, son, how about we don't?"
Yeah, his guard was down.
He couldn't have made it. He couldn't have been a better target if he bent over.
He couldn't have better. The only way he could have been a better target is if he killed himself.
So it's like, Kylo doesn't do any. He doesn't even get to kill. He doesn't even kill Leia because, hey, Leia doesn't die. Well, back the wrong horse there. And B, a random trooper shoots her anyway, or shoots the bridge. So it's like
she becomes space Jesus.
So it's like he's done nothing to make him at all feel like he is a competent or qualified threat. Even his initial thing, like the very first thing he does as a character is he shows up and he ransacks a village full of defenseless people and old men and kills an old man. It's like, that's not cool. That's not like Vader kind of just effortlessly leading a charge and taking out like an armed battalion.
Where the fuck are the magic pillars? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a thing in the game.
Have you tried checking underneath the Colosseum in Rome?
They probably gave me a prompt and I just fucking missed it because I know I've done this mission before. I'm half tempted to just restart the mission.
So it's just... like, Star Wars is fucked, we all know this. And I can't understand why people... like, I don't know, there is qualities to bad movies or other bad movies that I can understand why people like, but I don't understand why people defend the sequel movies, because it's like, what is there? There's no characters, because all the characters are like cookie cutter clone, or cookie cutter shit versions of characters from the previous film.
Oh, here it is.
Like,
I'll fire him, dude.
Rey is just Luke, but so much more because she's a Mary Sue. Like, there's no...
Yeah, because the whole lack of failure bit.
Yeah, there's no, like... there's nothing at all to define any of the characters, and they all change from, like, scene to scene, movie to movie. So it's impossible to... I don't know, I feel it's impossible to latch on and like a character beyond just kind of, I like that Finn was a stormtrooper, and that was interesting. Oh, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it kind of just got thrown out the door, like literally as soon as he left.
Like every single thing in these movies that was mildly interesting did. So it's like you don't really have a plot, because the plot is just, hey, it's just like the first one. Like, it's not even trying to do anything different. It's like, oh, do you want your big battle on half? You got a big battle on half. What's the difference? Oh, it's salt. You can't see, but I'm pulling a face right now.
I kind of felt it.
It's that kind of...
But yeah, it's the thing. It's something that like especially like if you're like new to writing, try to watch out for is if your character just is always succeeding
like, at the very least, even if you take some shit like the Transformers movies, I can at least understand people go, yeah, but I like Transformers and I'll not had another movie, or I won't get another movie, or any of this. And it's like, fair enough. Like, at least there is that. With Star Wars, it's like, yeah, you're just getting a shittier repackaging of something you've already seen and already own. Like, there's nothing to it. And anytime they try,
it doesn't help too that people that this is a viewer thing, not a writer thing. But like viewers, for whatever reason, attribute a character flaw to a plot hole for some fucking reason. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like if a character makes a mistake, or because characters, you know, you kind of need them to do because they're supposed to be flawed otherwise. But it's stuff when it's like, oh, well, the character did something stupid. That's a plot hole. That's not a plot hole. That's not what a plot hole means.
It needs to. If character's going to make a mistake, it needs to be something to the level of that the audience can understand why they come to that conclusion. Or so, like, plenty of people, like, so for instance, like, Luke makes a mistake in Empire Strikes Back where he has all these visions of his friends being horrifically killed and tortured. And he thinks, right, I'm going to go save them and be the big hero. And Yoda's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Because Yoda knows it's a trap.
Yeah.
But, like, Luke's not going to listen. Luke's like, oh, I need to save my friends. And he walks right into a trap and gets his hand cut off and everything's a bit miserable. So it's like, that's a character making a mistake that's understandable. Because, like, yeah, if you could...
Oh, yeah.
If you could see the fact that all your friends are dying, why wouldn't you rush off to go and save them?
Well, like, again, it even depends on the character and what kind of flaws that character has for them to make a mistake that would make things harder for them or people around them, or just make them completely fuck up.
Plenty of people can make, like, as I said, you can have characters make mistakes.
Like, let's be real. Like, using Goku for a second with the fucking Tournament of Power bullshit. That's totally within his character. He's a fucking idiot, and we can make fun, and we make fun of him religiously on that because it's funny and also true. But it is totally within his character to be like, yeah, I just want to fight strong guys. I don't care about the consequences. Because he doesn't.
He doesn't bat an eyelid when those trillions of people are wiped out every time a universe dies.
Yeah.
Like, he's all, why is everyone stop fighting?
Yeah, he actually, like, when one of them got eliminated, like, him and Zeno were like, why did everyone stop fighting? It's like, because they just watched an entire universe get fucking deleted.
So, but of course he won't kill Frieza, though.
First, yeah, and what's funny, even in the Broly movie, Vegeta's like, why?
Why do we let him live? Why don't we just kill him? I don't understand, like, Frieza's reasoning for not wanting to be immortal then, either. Where he's like, oh, I've lived in a world where you can't die and it's torturous. It's like, so you want to go back to that world at some point? Because, like, if you're not immortal, you will still die and you will still go to hell.
He believes having an immortal body does it. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds more like that they had that they didn't want Frieza to just kind of go and get the Dragon Balls because that would interfere, try and become immortal, because that would interfere with him becoming the token villain teammate that we need, because all our other token villain teammates are now hard good.
Hard good, or Toriyama doesn't want to bring the cell back.
So it's like, yeah, we can't have, so, and, it's just, why did we have to resurrect Frieza again? Like,
I like Frieza, but yeah.
Yeah, we like him, but the problem is we don't want him to be a good guy. And
yeah,
that is...
I don't think they're gonna do that, because even in the Broly movie...
But it still creates this inherent problem of, like, what...
You now have this big bad running around.
Like, literally in the fucking Broly movie, just has Frieza terrorizing a small scene of Frieza and his army just destroying a whole civilization, terrorizing them. And it's like, this is 100% your fault, Goku. All of these people who are suffering and dying because you don't want to just kill Frieza again. For no real reason. Oh, because he's strong. And it's like, bitch, you've got like 4 different people you can go and visit who can fight you now.
Yeah, but I want more strong guys.
But he's already got Jiren, who's still stronger than him.
And now Broly, who's also stronger than him.
So it's like, what more do you fucking want?
I need more.
And he's never beaten Hit.
No, he did.
No, he never defeated Hit.
No, remember? And they had that fucking two-parter?
Which two-part? No, Hit killed him.
Yeah, but he resurrected himself, then he just kicked fucking Hit's ass.
No, they wouldn't have a definitive win. Or, like, it was just they fought evenly, and then Goku was like, oh, but now you know you're not gonna fight me for serious anymore. I guess we'll settle this in the tournament, and then they never did. Like, Goku's never beaten Hit.
Oh.
Hit actually has a higher win rate versus Goku.
Huh, you're right.
Vegeta at least, like...
It kind of, you know what it kind of makes me think of? Is Vegeta's obsession with beating Goku for defeating him, even though technically it was Gohan who beat him.
I mean, Goku's never beaten Vegeta.
Yeah.
You know, because they only ever time they had a full like on-screen fight was Buu Saga, and Vegeta knocked that bitch out.
It was like one of those indecisive lower the guard things.
Yeah,
so...
he still knocked him out.
But still,
if Vegeta had been trying in that moment, he'd have killed him.
Even I didn't know I could be this strong.
So,
but yeah,
it's that thing where like Piccolo's lost to Goku for sure. Tien lost to Goku. Not that anyone gives a shit about those two.
I like Piccolo.
But like all the other like villainous characters or villainous rivals have been defeated by Goku, but Hit and Vegeta never were.
All right.
Yeah.
Jiren,
because Vegeta was a team effort. I mean, if I'm gonna be technical.
Yeah.
I mean, last hit was Gohan, but technically it was a team effort to knock him out.
Well, put it this way: for like the entire second half of the fight, Goku does nothing.
Yeah, he's just on the ground.
He's already because Goku is beaten.
It's literally Krillin, Gohan, and Yajirobe are the ones that finish the job.
Yep. Goku's actual involvement is basically, here's the spirit bomb, throw it. And even that doesn't actually do it.
Nah, it just severely damages him, and then Goku's like, oh look, his tail's back. Hey Gohan, look at the moon. Look at the moon, Gohan.
Thankfully, we brought the moon back. Oh no, wait, it was the Powerball.
Yeah, it was the Powerball with that one. Because Vegeta goes to try and use the moon. He's like, wait, they've already got rid of the moon? Clever bastards!
I mean... But it's okay, the moon just came back one day.
It does that.
Poor Boss Rabbit.
May he rest in piss.
Floating forever throughout the eternity of space. It does mean he's probably the only one, only Earthborn person who actually did survive Majin Buu's rampage apart from Satan.
Yeah. I like how Satan survives because Goku, and then we're like, I think it'd be better if we say. Basically, they're like, oh crap, we can't get our sons in, Mr. Satan. Oh well, let's get the baggage.
You know what they should have done for Broly? They should have just had like Whis do temporal redo and Gogeta fusion. Because that's the problem with Whis now that when they establish, oh yeah, Whis could just reset time
and resurrect people.
Then it's like, well, we have no stakes anymore.
Yeah, because like at least in the past they would usually do things to make the balls like unusable,
make them inert. Yes, we all
and like the balls are inert. But yeah, so they always had something in that. But now you have Whis who can just do the Dragon Ball shit and more.
Do anything.
Like literally, he just seems to have a new power whenever they feel like it. And since he's not antagonistic, and he's always there, it does kind of fuck with the stakes.
Especially when you consider that Whis
because he's not even, you can't even call him neutral because he does too much to help them.
And it's not, and like that's the other
problem. You can call Beerus neutral because Beerus just fucks around, but Whis is more active.
I mean, Beerus doesn't give two shits. As long as he's fed. So it's like... This is the problem where they've just overused those two characters to the point where it's like... I don't know. I think they would have... Better shout would have just been if Beerus was like every so often he shows up thing. Not every episode he's there. Because it just creates...
Like, I love him, but yeah.
Because it just creates the inevitable problem. Well, why doesn't Beerus just solve all of these problems, always? Especially, even when you get to, like, Future Trunks time, it's like, we're in a different timeline, so we can solve everything. And then we're like, no, don't worry. I went and after we've already done everything, I went and fixed all of the other problems that were about to crop up, like warning Goasu of alternate future Zamasu's thing, or warning myself to warn Beerus that that Shin's going to be assassinated. Stupid. You kind of wonder, like, why does Toriyama just keep? I mean, as a matter of fact, he just doesn't care.
I do really love the Broly movie. Like, it's really good.
It is.
But yeah, the Whis thing, I do.
But it is
the problem.
Broly movie is good, but it's also a kind of forewarning of what's kind of coming next.
Okay. Yeah.
No, what do you mean?
Like when we get Dragon Ball Super X.
I just haven't been able to.
I mean, you're gonna get more Broly because he ain't dead. So the way they're setting him up is they're basically like Frieza wants to make him one of his men, and Goku just wants to spar with him.
Vegeta just doesn't care.
Vegeta just wants Frieza dead because
Vegeta's just like,
he's the smart one.
I don't understand why Paragus was trying to kill me. I didn't do anything.
He's right.
To him.
What? You weren't going to fight with us?
Where it's like, Paragus is like, your dad would betray me, so I'm going to kill you. And it's like, isn't this whole kind of like blaming children for their father kind of what got you in this mess in the first place, Paragus?
Shut up! Well, Paragus was an idiot.
No one ever wants to kill Goku because of what Bardock did.
What did Bardock even do?
He read a copy of Action Comics #1.
How's this?
Oh, yeah,
I could do
that's
that.
Right here. How's this?
That's how he got the idea. He was like, this Jor-El seems like a brilliant scientist.
Yes, sir.
I can relate, as I too am a brilliant scientist.
How's this?
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Map deployment. Oh wait, I can't deploy Chrome, so it doesn't matter.
So yeah, Game of Thrones completely shit the bed. Sonic the Hedgehog was garbage. I think that's everything. Major news thing. Oh, I think Randy Pitchford got in trouble again, but that kind of just goes without saying these days.
I hear you.
Oh wait, no, I'm trying to.
Yes.
I guess that's something interesting. So, Wooly from the Super Best Friends / Castle Super Beast stuff recently said that crunch time in game development is inevitable at this point, which seems a completely dangerous stance to take, I feel, and also incorrect.
Yeah, I don't like crunch, and I hate that.
And a friend of mine kind of hypothesized that maybe since they're part of Rooster Teeth now, that might have been not necessarily a mandate, but kind of we like to have corporate sponsors because Rooster Teeth themselves have been corporate shills in the not too distant past. Remember when Fallout 4 came out and they all had that nice little podcast where they sit around saying, I don't understand how what kind of idiot won't like this game, as they have their three giant commemorative Pit Boys that they were given by Bethesda all attached on their arms. And it's like, regardless of if Bethesda did buy and pay for their things, because they did, it does present the really unfortunate implications that I'm drawing upon.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit you do need to be aware of if you're going to be in the public eye like that.
Someone must be powering that barrier. Let's keep
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm pretty sure last week I even went on a thing, I even went on a rant and said that, yeah, of course, game devs bribe the shit out of people.
Yeah,
they do.
They do.
They do it to YouTubers. Just because they're not giving you actual money doesn't mean they're not bribing.
They either bribe you. They bribe you usually not even with cash. Usually it's usually with either early access to the game.
Well, they can't give you
or
cash
access to press event.
They can't give you cash because then you'd have to declare. Otherwise, that would be fraud. Yeah. So they give you all this other stuff that's not cash, and you don't have to declare it, so it's fine. But it's still free stuff.
Yeah, and what they will do if you piss them off, what they'll do is they'll just say you gave us a bad review, so you don't get a free copy of the game. So now this will hurt your business as well, because now you cannot access. You won't get the early hits for your video on it. And yeah, So you're incentivized to not say anything negative, because then you might not get things anymore from them, and then you're going to fall down further in the algorithm.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Because, yeah, folks, YouTube is a big algorithm game. So, like, sometimes when I see other people, like, do, like, so sometimes, like, channels will do, videos on games that I happen to be playing, and there will be an uptick in views of that game. Like, I see, so I'm doing, Sonic Adventure 2 right now, because, well, I started doing it before the trailer even came out, obviously, because I'm in part 3 by now, I think. And, but, like, some people are starting to do, like, Sonic Adventure 2 playthroughs, usually poke fun at it, because the game is not very good. But, because the Sonic trailer just came out, to get those clicks from Sonic. And a lot of times, too, when that happens, like, a bigger account does this, sometimes my videos then get a little bit more clicks. Not, like, a massive amount, I'm not, like, a popular channel or anything, but, like, I will see an uptick if something I happen to be doing happens to fall in line with the way the algorithm's moving.
Hmm.
It's kind of why you see shit like, what's his fucking face? With MatPat, like, trying to do, like, a Persona theory real quick when the 5 anime came out, because 5 was going to be a lot of clicks at the time.
Yeah.
Or, if we're going to use Persona again, like that dumbass who was pretending that they heard them say the R word in the middle of the fucking song.
Oh, yeah, the Kotaku thing.
Yeah. The one where it's like, you're obviously trying to get clicks
Even
right
if
now.
they
That's what you're
did
doing.
say that, it's a word that has multiple meanings.
Yeah, but they didn't, because it's also in a fucking Nintendo game. Because it would have been, that song wouldn't have been in the damn game if it was in the fucking thing.
I mean,
because Nintendo would not let you do that. Nintendo won't let you say damn sometimes.
I'm so sick of this shit.
Like, they've always, for Fire Emblem releases here, they've always replaced bastards with dastards, for Christ's sake.
I mean,
they won't let you get away with saying bastard.
They will let
You're gonna look me dead in the eye and pretend.
They will let Bayonetta say fuck, though.
Well, Bayonetta, they helped fund, but they don't own?
Yeah, but...
You have to remember that.
Yeah, I know, but they still completely allow her to do anything she wants.
No, they allow it, but it's not their character.
Well, I'm getting...
But if you also look in Smash, she doesn't go, like, practically naked in her movies. She's still a little suggestive, but she's, like, rated teen suggestive.
She doesn't go full naked for the attacks, but she does go, swimsuit.
Yeah, which Nintendo's okay with swimsuit.
I mean, that's how they've built their Fire Emblem business. Tell me
Correct.
I'm wrong.
Correct.
But even if they did say the word retarded, it's like, fuck you, because this is the inherent problem we have with our language, and useless cunts trying to dictate what we can and cannot say, when when the only thing that actually matters when it comes to words is the intention behind the words.
Right.
Because you could say the nicest thing ever, but if the intention is to be sarcastic and mean, then suddenly calling someone a nice person doesn't make them isn't about making them feel nice, is it? Dan, you're great at video games. There you go. It's not a compliment, it's an insult. But it sounds like a compliment, so if I wrote it down, it would sound like a compliment. And I hate this whole thing of, well, you can't say this word because it might offend people. It's like, only should offend people if it's an insult directed directly at them. Retarded has other connotations beyond just people who are mentally handicapped. It's me off. It's like, words only have power if you let them, morons. A word is a word. It's entirely the context it's used and the tone and the intention behind the word.
Of course, like, when the intention is something stupid, you can obviously then just rip at it.
Yeah.
'Cause...
Oh, I'm not saying people should be allowed to just be offensive. No. I'm just saying is that we should stop with this crap of these words are taboo. No, just make it so that they're taboo in the context of when they use, because like it will just never stop if we don't draw the line in the sand and say no. It's like, yeah, retarded's bad, so what happens in a few years when you can't say handicapped anymore?
That's the thing, too, where words constantly change, like, what's acceptable / unacceptable.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Hell, like, well, the thing is, that's even just a thing in culture in general, where, like, what you're allowed to even show on television shifts all the time. Because, a lot of TV shows, like, if you watch, like, a lot of old sitcoms, you'll be like, well, this is basic shit, but, like, there was a time a lot of that shit was controversial, like, Leave It to Beaver showing a bathroom was a big deal.
I mean, fucking Blazing Saddles having a scene where people sit around and fart was a huge deal. It's the first on-screen fart in film history.
Yep.
Like, censorship in film and TV is hilarious when you break down the things you were and were not allowed to do. I think there was a thing where, like, if a man and woman were in a bedroom, one of them had to have at least 1 foot on the floor at all times.
There was also a time where you could not have a couple in bed together.
And you could not have people on the butt sitting on the toilet with their trousers down. It had to be...
Yep, that was a thing at one point.
So it's like, there's a whole bunch of bizarre, like, standards and practices that people had to go through in terms of censorship in American TV and British TV. Because I guess they thought that people watching would be corrupted by the knowledge that, oh, sex is a thing. You know,
wait,
not that thing that they were likely doing. I don't understand it. It's like, you can't even say, oh, it's a Christian ideal. Because the Christian ideal is they want you to fuck like crazy.
They want you to fuck like crazy, but they want to also tell you it's a sin.
They want you to pump out all those little Christian soldiers.
But also fucking is a sin.
But yeah.
No, I'm serious. That's how they are, because Christianity is fucking stupid.
Only fuck people when you go through a whole stupidly expensive bullshit ceremony, and then with completely asinine vows, what are they called? Vows that don't mean shit.
Vows. It's vows.
Yeah, sorry. Well, vows that don't mean shit. Till death do us part. Yeah, that's why, like, what is it? 75% of marriages end in divorce.
Yeah.
Just be until we realise we don't like each other till we part. It would save a whole lot of ish time and.
Alright. Now let me just murder more people. But yeah, yeah, I'm trying to think of now where to move on to the topic after that. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's not an episode if I don't have a get on my little soapbox and rant about something.
Yeah. Yeah, usually when it's just me by myself, it's just dumb video game shit.
It's all part of my charming exterior to just come off as this nice, friendly person who never says anything controversial.
I don't think anyone would buy that for even a second.
Would they buy that for $1 though?
I don't know. I don't think that's worth $1.
I had to laugh though. So I spoke to someone who had the usual, man, Hollywood is so creatively bankrupt now, and it's just sequels and reboots.
Yeah, it's a shame. I just want to make a joke real quick, just at my own expense. You know, I'm surprised. It's a good thing you can't see this, because otherwise you'd be laughing at the fact that right now I'm controlling a redhead. There you go. There you go. You got to have a snicker. Now go ahead with your original thing.
So people are doing the usual thing of sequels, reboots, adaptations. It's all that's in Hollywood. It's creative bankrupt. It's like, bitch, that's been Hollywood since the inception.
Yeah, I've actually learned that's like.
All right, so
that's just always been like that.
You know The Wizard of Oz, right? Most famous film of all time, probably.
Remake.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's an adaptation of a book, which we all knew. But it's like the third attempt at adapting The Wizard of Oz. Like, there were like 2 other Wizard of Oz films before that one. They just did not do anywhere near as well. So it's like, okay, so your baseline, one of the most famous films of all time. Okay, what else came out in that time? Dracula, based on a book.
There are so many fucking Dracula movies, and some of them we can't even find anymore.
Yeah, Dracula based on a book. Frankenstein based on a book. Wolfman based.
And there's so many of those. Hunchback
based on a book.
Anything to do. There's so many versions.
Anything to do with King Arthur based on a book. How about let's see.
I mean, if I'm gonna be extra technical, it was based off of like, wasn't it like an adaptation of a different story that wasn't involved with Christianity but involved with another religion?
What, King Arthur?
Yeah,
and from my understanding, it was a collection of like kind of folklores and legends that were passed around in kind of the vague British area for quite a while, and then the French author, whose name I forget, basically compiled them and turned them into more of like a kind of overall narrative and story.
Well, no, there was a. It was not. It wasn't called Arthur.
No, that was
the
the translated to a more modern day thing. It was like.
Because originally it wasn't even like, like say the Christian god. It was something else.
No, it was a whole bunch of like other stuff. As I said, they're like ancient. You have to remember, a lot of people like this is kind of.
Oh, this is for the audience, and also just me double checking my own.
You have to remember, like the thing about British culture or Britain is it's probably one of the sort of oldest currently running, civilizations in that sense.
I think like the oldest ones are like.
Well, you got
Britain and China.
It's like Britain, China, and parts and Rome.
France. Oh wait, no, France because of all the revolutions and whatnot.
So it's like kind of the oldest. It's one of like the sort of oldest that's most sort of kept intact sort of cultural things for now. So we have like 1,000+ years of history to go through. So it's like always that thing where so much stuff kind of happened long before other stuff, like a whole bunch of other stuff happened, and then the church kind of got involved. But yeah, so it's like kind of, it's based on a whole bunch of legends that but that got collected into a book from my understanding, and the book is kind of what everyone draws upon, because that's where like the more sort of modern translations of all the names and characters and elements comes from. Because otherwise you're looking at like Welsh spellings are nonsense.
Alright.
So, but my point is, it's like even if you advance a few years, then you get to the 80s, you get to like, 80s, one of the biggest movies of the 80s, Empire Strikes Back sequel, Terminator 2 sequel, Aliens sequel, got Back to the Future's Part 2 and 3 sequels. Like, these are all movies that people love and care a great deal for. And I'm trying to explain to people, the problem is, the inherent flaw, is it's very easy to look back at the past and go, man, there was so...
Because usually what happens is, and I think I might have mentioned this in a video of mine before, like years ago. So, and I think I was talking about music. So, a lot of times what people do when they talk about, in fact, we might have even just been mentioning
Yeah, probably.
And like maybe even just like talking before. What a lot of times what people do is they'll look at not an era or say like even like a decade of like say film, music, television.
These standout examples, both good and bad.
And usually, what they'll usually do is they'll just pick the good things over like usually a few decades, and they'll be like, see how good this all was, and then they'll look at all the things that were shit from say like this year.
Exactly. So it's that inherent flaw where there's so many films come out and have always come out on like however many like dozens per year. And this is kind of why something like Best of the Worst is great, because it is just kind of, oh, look at all this shit that also came out in these time periods, in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
A lot of it's shit that I've never even heard of, which is what makes it also really entertaining to me.
Exactly, it's that stuff you never heard of, because it's not part of the whole cultural element of, well, we heard about these movies and they're good. So you live in that time frame where you see all these things coming out. So of course you think, wow, it's worse nowadays, because you can tangibly see the crap. Well, you don't see the crap of like 1983.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, because also now with like information, because one thing I was talking about is like when it comes to like murders and shit, because like some older people are like, oh wow, there's so much more violence nowadays. I'm like, no, we just get information so much faster now.
Yeah.
Info travels so much quicker now. Like if right now like an earthquake struck any country on the planet, we would know about it by the time this recording is over. Mm-hmm. Where, like, even, like, in the 90s, you wouldn't know for maybe a couple weeks to a month.
Well,
if at all.
Well, you probably know, like, when the news hit, but the news was only at fixed times. You had, like, what, two or three, like, news showings per day? Morning, noon, and night. And then we got the 24-hour rolling block news, and that's kind of where everything started ballooning into this point of information is shared at like an insane level. This is what I'm saying, is that it's easy to look at today's world and see everything, but it's not so easy to look back on like even like the past years, because remember, people now look back fondly on like the early 2000s and go, man, there were so many great films back then from like the period between 2000 and 2010. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're only remembering all the good shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of trash back then, because I remember that was a period when I didn't really... A lot of movies that I'm into, specifically, weren't really coming out, so there wasn't as much I was watching back then.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, lots of crap came out, but lots of crap comes out every year. It's just easier for people to go, man, we had it so good back then, we didn't even know it. It's like, no, you just were the exact same thing there. Man, back in the 70s, people had such great movies.
Like, when it used to be kind of like a popular thing to be like, oh, the 90s were so much better usually when they're talking about, like, cartoons. My favorite thing was to always just bring up the Butt Ugly Martians. Because the reactions were always funny, because as bad as it was, because it was fucking awful, while it won't pop to everyone's forefront of their memory, as soon as you say it, they remember it, and the reaction's always, oh, god damn, fuck you!
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Megas XLR is 20 years old today, apparently.
Yeah, this is for the audience. I think you already know this. Unfortunately, you'll never see a DVD of it in the United States because it was used as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
And for the audience, what that means is when you do that, you cannot distribute or broadcast the show again. Oh. So the only way to watch Megas XLR is to literally find pirates from people recording it from their TVs. Or there was a DVD release apparently in the UK. But I don't know if it's the full series or what. I just remember being told that.
I'd be surprised if it was the full release, but I'll check that at some point.
But and actually, to get like, in that vein, even though it wasn't a tax write-off, Billy and Mandy has never been fully released on DVD, which I was actually kind of surprised.
Why that is? Because that definitely did well. Like, Megas XLR, except everyone loves it. Nobody watched it.
Yeah, it
I watched it.
I watched the shit out of it. It was like one of my favorite shows at the time.
I did find a single Megas XLR DVD. Let me check, see what episode, how many episodes. I mean, it's being sold for 98 pence.
Damn. Fucking damn.
No, I can't actually get any information on what is on it because I've only got a picture of the front cover, and that's just a promotional image. And I can't see anything about. Well, just says it's region 2. I doubt it's the whole series, but fucking 99p. I'd rather just be a pirate though, because they're not going to get any money from it. Because it's used copies. This is the thing, whenever people say, oh, but piracy leads to loss of sales. It's like, well, if there's no method of
if there's no tangible way to get it, then...
So, like...
I'm all for it if you cannot, like, purchase
so, like,
it.
if I wanted to buy it, or watch any, or buy, like, legitimately buy most of the Godzilla movies, because I really like that series, I'd have to get a Region 1 DVD player and import the Region 1 DVDs. Problem is that the original distributors are not going to get any of that money because it's all going to go directly to the importers, because you know they don't need to pay money to distributors at this point. So it's like you're not supporting anyone by going that kind of route. So it's piracy. So it's like it's fundamentally no different from piracy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any problem when there's no tangible way to, no tangible or reasonable way to purchase something.
Okay, and
like for example, hell, while we're playing Fire Emblem, if you want to pirate Path of Radiance, go ahead, because Nintendo doesn't want to re-release it in any tangible way for you to actually play it.
And it's like
that game is way expensive.
And everyone knows that the way you fight piracy is you provide people with the ease of access to, you know,
ease of access, affordable pricing, all that kind of shit.
So it's like, oh hey, music piracy went down massively once shit like Spotify came out.
Yeah. Funny that, eh?
Yeah. Or
like hell, even like with Amazon, you can just buy individual songs for like $1.
Yep.
Or less.
So suddenly it's like you don't need to pirate because It's easy to do. Like, it's cheap. You spend $1, £1, get the one song you want, and then whatever you paid the money to the artist, and you've got what you want, and everyone's happy. Or hell, you want to watch a movie? Well, it's okay if it's got like an easy to access service like digital download, or timely home releases, or Netflix. And people are always willing to pay for a quality product. Piracy and video games are the same. Like, people will buy a video game if they think they're not getting screwed on it. Like,
yeah. I will. Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Like, there was a time when I had less money, I would like temporarily try a game, but I had like an actual like rule system with it where I would stop playing it, and then I would buy it, or then I would just never see it again. But that's also, but like with like demos being more of a common thing again, that's not even something that's in my thought process anymore.
But you've also got like things like Steam as well, and Steam has the refund option.
Yeah, and its refund options are really good.
So it's like, because of that, people are more incentivized to try things and to spend money on things and like legitimately get things. Whereas if you're trying to be restrictive, because DRM didn't work, or doesn't work, that's not what gets people off of piracy. What gets people off of piracy is having ease of access to things.
So like, an example of that, so because I've brought it up when talking about my issues with Nintendo and how they just don't want you to have anything. They don't want you. They do not want to sell this stuff for some fucking reason. Let me just send Cordelia down there to deal with that. They just make everything so much harder for you to like support it. So like, meanwhile with Sega, so Sega has almost like a good portion of the Genesis library on Steam for like $1 a piece. So like when I've gone to record like Streets of Rage or something like that for my channel, rather than looking for a fucking ROM file of it, I go, oh yeah, it's $1 on Steam, and I throw $1 at it, and I just bought the game. Because it's like, why go through the trouble of pirating and not supporting when it's $1? It's right there, easy for me to get my hands on.
I mean,
where like with Nintendo, Nintendo makes it harder. They always make it harder to get a hold of their shit.
It's like, I'm perfectly fine with like, so when it comes to anime, there's a whole bunch of series that I will just fucking pirate because fuck, they're never gonna let me have this. What, you think they'll let me? What, you think Funimation's gonna let me have like Gridman DVD? What are you, high? Funimation hates my country.
Oh, that's a shame.
So we only just recently started getting Dragon Ball stuff.
That's a real shame.
Why?
No, just the fact that they don't.
It's like,
they for some reason don't. Oh wait, that's weird too because they're owned by Sony.
You think of all people, like Sony would hate, or Sony would be more against America.
Apparently they hate you more.
Well, actually, Sony's don't seem to give a shit. It's like, yeah, you can have all this stuff. Funimation, though, they're like, yeah, we won't give you the DVDs or things you want. It's like, yo, you want Food Wars? You can have Food Wars. It's like, no, just give me Gridman, please. I like Gridman. It was fun. I want more robot shows. Give me robot shows.
I'm hearing the music in my head right now. The OG one.
Yeah, that plays.
Baby dun,
yeah, that does play in the final episode.
Yeah, I was told that, and I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, Gridman was definitely a fun series, though. I do highly recommend it.
Stupid.
Even if it is
Gridman is stupid, so.
I mean, Gridman is just. We wanted to do Ultraman, but we literally were not allowed to. So
yeah.
they let us do.
Wait, didn't Trigger also do the Witch Academia?
Yes.
Yes. See, they can occasionally do things that are actually decent.
From my understanding, what happened is they went to Super Raya Productions. And they said, okay, we'll do a co-production with you. Okay, can we do Ultraman? No. Okay, why not? No, you can do Gridman. What the fuck's a Gridman? So, oh, okay, well, we don't know what the fuck a Gridman is, so let's just do a Brave series. Everyone likes X Kaiser and Night Gain.
I'll be real though, Gridman has a better theme
Then what?
than Ultraman in my opinion. Because I love Gridman. I just love it.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say it has a better theme song than Gal Gadot, and I'd have to punch it.
Listen, I know better. I know better than to say such things.
Yeah, better than to say sacrilege.
I mean, I've said sacrilege before. The internet has tossed me asunder for that many a time.
They hated Jesus because he told the truth.
It's true.
I think it's just because Jesus was like the.
I still love like what was it? Because I was mentioning the. Oh, hold on. Let me get Frederick out of there. Fred, just get the fuck out, because I need to get a treasure chest, and I don't want you dying while I'm trying to do that. Just go away. I'm gonna fly and grab a treasure chest. Goodbye. But I still think it's funny because it's actually funny we're going back to Sonic Adventure 2, because I still remember like years ago before the Pro Jared video. Like, I got, like, flamed for saying Sonic Adventure 2 was not a good game.
Mm.
And, like, now, it's considered just, like, that's just because a popular, video maker said that. It's now, just genuinely accepted.
I mean, I've been saying for years that Bethesda are evil.
Yeah, honestly, you have been. And the only reason people know now is because there's not mods now.
Mm.
And because there's no mods, people aren't like...
Because it's no mods, they can't just say, yeah, but mods fix, and it's like, that's not an argument.
Yeah, no, it never was, but they did.
You cannot undo what is already done.
Alright, time to kill a weird-looking wizard man.
I mean, I could just describe any villain in Fire Emblem.
You ever notice in fiction, there's a very few mages who are good aligned. They're usually like neutral or
It's
evil.
because magic is.
You ever notice
It's because
that?
magic is bullshit overpowered. Unless you put like very, very, very clear rules in terms of what the magic can do and can't do. And so then it's like it's kind of like it's like the Infinity Gems, right? In Thanos, where like you can do basic. Oh, I guess I should actually talk about Endgame. Probably don't have time now.
That's fine. You want to talk about it real quick?
I saw it. It was good. There were a few parts of it that I thought were that I'd have done different. That I definitely think were not great. I think Thor and Hulk were pretty mishandled. I think the extremely cringe girl power moment was very kind of like, yeah, you were doing so well up until that moment. I'm sort of glad this movie legitimized my dislike of Carol Danvers, because she is just a bitch. I did like a lot of the character stuff. I liked a lot of the sort of little set pieces and sort of sly winks and references to past work. I think it was a good ending, and I'm glad it's happened, and I never have to watch a Marvel movie again. Well, like, now there's no longer the threat of obligation. It's not like, I have to go and see the Thor movie because it's important. It's like now, yeah, if I want to see Guardians 3, I'll go. If I don't want to see anything else, I won't go. I won't go and see the Downcoming, Down From Home. Whatever. I won't go and see Captain Marvel or Black Panther movies. And I can just pretend that they don't exist anymore and just stick to what I want to watch, which is Godzilla. And like, but yeah, I thought it was good. I just think I definitely feel like it's gonna get overhyped. It's gonna get overhyped as, oh my god, it's amazing, perfect. It's good. It's just flawed, but I'm ultimately glad it is the way it is. Sans the few things I dislike and would have changed. I don't really want to spoil too much.
Right.
I don't want to just drop the
this is just
Proof box.
this is just for the audience, real quick, in case anyone why I'm not jumping in just for them. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, that's the other reason. I don't want to go, man, there's this really cool scene where, like, this happens.
I mean, I personally don't care about spoilers, but we're recording right now, so...
So I don't want to just jump in and say, oh, and that's when Adam Warlock shows up.
The only thing I'm going to say for the people that have seen the movie is I already know that we were right.
I mean, I'm always right, so you're not really telling me anything new.
Well, no, they'll know. It's a thing that we've been making fun of for a while.
I'm always right.
You bear the brand.
But,
yeah, it's worth a watch, but... And I kind of said this to you. I was always in the weird position of, like, yeah, I was excited to see Endgame, but, like, Godzilla was always that kind of, yeah, this is what I think is actually going to be hype, though.
Better?
You've always been more into, like, kaiju stuff,
But even
too,
beyond
so...
just kind of that, I think the problem with Endgame is it was what I expected it to be, and not much more.
I like it.
Like, there are a few things I didn't see coming that were, like, genuine twists, but the overall beats and the overall structure, it shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone. Like, I feel like everything is extremely guessable about the movie after you get past the initial, like, 5 minutes.
But, okay, I'm gonna be honest, though. What twist is there in a Godzilla movie?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because the point was, like, but I'm getting to that. So, there's no twist to it, and I already kind of got all the emotional payoff and stuff I wanted from Infinity War, so it was everything in Endgame kind of just felt like, this is just extra of the thing you already have. Which, well, good. It's like...
Because when you think about it, Endgame is basically... Endgame and Infinity War are the same movie. It's just...
They are, but as I said, I think Infinity War is stronger, and for that reason it makes Endgame feel like kind of... Yeah, you've already got what you wanted, so you can have it, but just a little bit more.
Infinity War has the first and second arc of the 3-arc structure, because it has, you know, the setup, and then, like... the difficulty, and then the end game is a little bit of the middle, but then quickly goes into from what I understand, goes into the finale.
It's not actually that quick to get into the actual finale, but what I'm getting at is,
I mean, you get to the third
is about
arc,
like 3
right away,
hours long, so it's that kind of thing where, yeah, and the trade-off is that, yeah, Godzilla movies are not going to be ever like unpredictable or whatever, but the difference is that that's not something I get. It's not something I've already had. It's because, like, I've not had a big budget movie where King Ghidorah gets to show up and do crazy shit. Like, that's actually new and it's exciting. With Endgame, it was that, yeah, this is you've got everything, and this is just the kind of it's the like mandatory stuff that you know you were gonna get, whereas you don't quite know what you're gonna get with the other thing. Like, in the sense of all the payoff, all of everything with Endgame was very much like, yeah, you went into this with all of that knowledge. Like, to the point where everyone probably could have written the movie. Maybe not as well as the Russos did, but it's kind of, I guess you could say it's like the Game of Thrones thing, where if they'd have done what everyone expected them to, it would have been like that, where it was just the payoff to everything that you've set up, and you would know it. But I guess they didn't really subvert expectations, which is good.
From what I heard with Endgame 2, they apparently shot like 5 different endings.
Probably, but there's only the one that I know of that matters.
Yeah, that's the one that was in theaters. But anyway, we're gonna cut it here.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys next time, and maybe Sable will be dead, maybe he'll be alive, who knows?
Hopefully. Bye, everyone.